So first we'll see what a percentage is. Percent means it is a split up of per centum. Centum means 100. Per means 1. So for every 100, what is the value? Say for example, so if a boy out of 200, so if he scores 150 marks, so for 200 his score is 150, so what will be value for 100? So how can you get 100 from 200? So divide this 200 by 2, you get 100. And the same way, divide the numerator also with 2. So when you divide 150 with 2, it is 75. So when a boy scores 150 for 200, it means that for 100 he had got 75. So for 100 the mark is 75. Percentage means it is an equivalent fraction where the denominator is 100. So 150 by 200 is also equivalent to 75 by 100. So percentage means if the denominator is 100, the numerator whatever is there will be the percentage. So it is the rate percent. So here for 100 he is scoring 75. So 150 for 200 implies for 100 it is 75, and as it is for 175, percentage is 75%. And see that the denominator is 100. So whenever the denominator is 100, whatever is in the numerator is taken as the percentage, because for 100 the value is 75. If for example for 25, say in a test a boy gets 4 for 25. So now what will be the mark for 100? So convert this for 100. And how can you get 100 from 25? So multiplying with 4. So earlier we divided 200 with 2, we got 100. Here multiplying 25 with 4, we get 100. So the denominator is 100. And what will be the numerator? Into 4, 16. So for 25 if it is 4, for 100 it is 16. Now what is the percentage? As the denominator is 100, so for 100 the score is 16. So it is 16%. If suppose it is 7 for 100, now what will be the percentage? For 100 it is 7, so percentage is 7%. So if it is say 0.7, now what will be the percentage? So seeing this 0.7, so many go wrong like writing 70 or 7 by 10. So for 100 it is 0.7, so percentage is 0.7%. If suppose you have a value 0.03 by 100, now what will be the percentage? For 100 it is 0.03, so the percentage is 0.03%. Here percent is for every 100 what is the value, and percentage is equivalent fraction where the denominator is 100. So whenever the denominator is 100, whatever is in the numerator you take as the percentage. Say some banks, so they declare that the rate percent is say 8%. So if the rate is 8%, so what does this mean? So for every 100, so the bank will give you 8 rupees more as interest. So here the rate percent is 8. It means that for every 100 you get 8 rupees as interest. So now we'll see what are the basic percentages. So instead of having enormous percentages and remembering, so we can remember 4 basic percentages, and with that you can coin whatever percentages needed. Say the basic percentages, so we can take as the one is 50%, 25%, 10% and 1%. So having this as the basic percentages for any value, so we can coin whatever percentages asked. So if we find 1% and if you require 3%, multiply this with 3. So if you need 40%, find 10% of a given value, multiply this with 4, you get 40%. Accordingly, any required percentage can be coined from this basic percentages. Say for example, so you have a value 4824. So what will be 50% of this given value? So 50% means half of the given value. Divide the 1 with 2, you get 50%. So 24112 is 50% of the given value. And if you need 25%, so divide the given value by 4. That is 1/4 of the value is 25%. So dividing this with 4, so 1206 is 25% of the given value. And if 10% is asked, so for this 4824, so just place a decimal after the last integer. From right to left, place a decimal after the first integer, because 10% means it is multiplying it with 10 by 100. So after cancelling this, it is like dividing the given number by 10. So place a decimal after the last integer from right to left. So if you need 1%, so whatever the value is, so place decimal after two integers from right to left. So because it is into 1 by 100. So you are dividing the given number by 100, so put decimals after two integers from right to left. So with this you can coin any percentage which is asked. So mostly all this will be applicable, will be very useful for you while working data interpretation. So most of the questions will be based on finding the percentages. So having this as the base, you can practice so that easily with the options you can get the answer. And now we'll see to find percentage between two given values. Say for example, so what percent of 120 is 30? So here we are asked to find 30 is what percentage of 120. Now how will proceed the working? So which is the base here? So always remember the one which comes after of will be the base. So based on this we are checking 30 is what percent. So here the one which comes, that is 120, comes after of. So that will be the base and write in the denominator and 30 in the numerator. So now we have to find 30 is what percent of 120 into 100. And now cancelling this, so the required percentage is 25%. So here two values are given and we are asked to find percentage of 30 as 120, the one which comes after of. So remember, so the one which comes after of you write in the denominator, so that will be the base. So based on this you can find the percentage. If suppose comparison is between two fractions, say for example, so what percent of 1 by 4 is 1 by 5? So here which will be the base? So what percent of 1 by 4 is 1 by 5? So we need to find 1 by 5 as a percentage of 1 by 4. The one which comes after of is 1 by 4. So write that in the denominator and 1 by 5 in the numerator. And to find percentage, it is into 100. And now what will be the working here? We have two fractions, one in the numerator and other in the denominator. So whenever you have two fractions, the one which is in the denominator can be reciprocated and multiplied. So that is 1 by 5 into, so this division 1 by 4 is taken as 4 by 1 into 100. And now what is the required percentage? So after simplifying this, we get 1 by 5 as a percentage of 1 by 4. So 1 by 5 is 80% of 1 by 4. So if suppose the question is like, what percent of 1 by 5 is 1 by 4? So now which will be the base? The one which comes after of will be the base. So write that fraction in the denominator. And the 1 by 4 is in the numerator into 100. And now to find the percentage, so it is 1 by 4 into 1 by 5 is reciprocated and multiplied. So the required percentage is 125%. So this is the basic concepts of percentages, and we'll see a few examples based on these concepts. So we'll see the first example. So now we'll see what is the value of root of 49%. So many think that seeing the option 7% is the answer. So this question was asked in the previous exam. So many in a hurry, so they write 7% is the answer, but 7% is not the correct answer. So we'll see what is the answer here. So in this question, the percentage is also inside the square root. So 49%. So when you have 49%, what will be the value? So divide 49 by 100, and it is square root for 49 by 100. And we can take square root for numerator and denominator separately because both are square numbers. So what is root of 49? 7. And root of 100 is 10. Now what is the value? It is 0.7. So 0.7 is square root of 49%. But when you check the option, so 0.7 is not given there. So what will be the equivalent option for this? So we have some options which have percentages also. And there is one option B which is 0.7%. So as 0.7 is the answer, 0.7% definitely will not be the answer. And to find percentage, so we'll multiply this with 100. So when 0.7 into 100, we get 70%. So root of 49% is 70% and not 7% or 0.7%. So answer is either 0.7 or 70%. So both are correct. So in the options we have 70%. So answer is option C, 70%. So we'll see the next example. So the value of which of the following fractions is less than 20%? So the given fractions are 5 by 6, 2 by 3, 2 by 5, 1 by 4 and 2 by 11. So we'll check here which fraction. So we are asked to find which fraction is less than 20%. So given a fraction and finding a percentage is one of the important working in data interpretation. So we'll see how to find a percentage for a given fraction by making split up for the denominator. Say for example, so we'll work out this question later. So we'll see an example. So if you have a fraction 54 by 181 into 100. So we need to find the percentage for this fraction. So whenever you are finding percentage, so don't use this 100 at all. Suppose instead of 181, you have 180. So don't cancel this 0. So don't touch this 100 unless you have a single digit number. So I'll tell you easily how to find percentage when you have a single digit number in the denominator. So shortly we'll be seeing all that. So here the given fraction is, so 54 by 181. So into 100. So for percentage, we'll multiply this with 100. So now make split up for the denominator and we can find the numerator is what percent of the denominator. So when you practice in this way, so you can easily find the percentage without making any complicated divisions and finding the answer. So by making split up for the denominator, with the options itself, you can get the answer easily. So always start with 10%. So what is 10% of 181? So I have told you 10% is just place an integer after the last integer. So 54 is more than 10%. So we'll check for the next multiple of 10, that is 20. So what is 20% of 181? It is 18 into 2, it is 36 point. So you can avoid this one also. So 36.2. And the numerator is more than 20%. So we'll go for the next multiple of 10. So which is 30%. So multiplying 3 on either side, 3 into 10, 30%, 3 into 18.1, it is 54.3. The numerator is less than 30%, but how much it is less? Only 0.3 less. So in the options, you choose the percentage which is less than 30%, because 30% is 54.3, we have only 54, and as it is only 0.3 less, you choose an option which is very nearing to 30%. Say for example, if you have in the options 30.01, 27.6, 29.8. So which option you will choose? So definitely it will not cross 30, so this can't be the option. And here it is only 0.3 less than the required percentage, so it can't be 27.6. The only chances, only possible answer will be 29.8. So in this pattern, by making split up for the denominator, you can easily get the correct answer by checking with the options. So using this pattern, we'll see which fraction is less than 20%. So we'll discuss these fractions one by one. So what is the first fraction? 5 by 6. So for you to explain, I need a step-by-step working. But seeing the question itself, seeing the fraction itself, you can decide what will be the correct answer. So 5 by 6, what is 10% of 6? It is 0.6. So we need a fraction less than 20%. So what will be 20%? It is into 2, so 1.2. So we have the numerator more than 1.2. So 5 by 6 is not the fraction which is less than 20%. So we'll see the next fraction, 2 by 3. So what is 10% of 3? 0.3. Multiplying it with 2, you get 0.6. And as 2 is more than 0.6, this fraction is also not less than 20%. And then the fraction is 2 by 5. So what is 10% of 5? 0.5. What will be 20%? 1. 2 is more than 1. So this fraction is more than 20%. So 10% is 0.5 into 2. So 20% is 1. So this fraction is more than 20%. So this is not the one, this is not the required answer. And the next fraction is 1 by 4. So what is 1 by 4? It is 25%. So it is more than 20%. And then 2 by 11. So for 1 by 4, 10% is 0.4. Into 2 it is 0.8. So we have more than 20%. So this is not the fraction less than 20%. And checking for 2 by 11. So what is 10% of the denominator 11? 1.1 is 10% into 2. So it is 2.2. So we have a numerator less than 20%. So 2 by 11 is the required answer. So this question was asked in the exam, Allahabad PO exam 2010. So now making split up for the denominator, that is the basic percentages. So we can find which fraction is less than 20%, and the required answer is option E, 2 by 11. We'll see the next example. So the next example is express 1 by 4 as a percentage of 5 by 8. So here 1 by 4 is asked as a percentage of 5 by 8. So which will come in the denominator? The one which comes after of, that is the fraction 5 by 8 will come in the denominator, because based on 5 by 8 we are going to find the percentage of 1 by 4. So write 5 by 8 in the denominator. So 5 by 8 is the base. So write that in the denominator and 1 by 4 in the numerator into 100. And now the working will be 1 by 4 into, so take reciprocal for 5 by 8 and multiply. So what is the answer? What is the required percentage? So 1 by 4 is 40% of 5 by 8. So answer is option B, 40%. So here the fraction 5 by 8 comes after of. So blindly you can write that in the denominator and easily you can arrive at the answer. So we'll see the next concept.